experiences living here in the nation. And of course, for that, I have two pretty ladies with me once again, Titi and Jam. Good afternoon, you both.
Afternoon, Jasmine.
Good afternoon. Rainy day today, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, how is fall treating you both?
Well, right now, the
I
weather...
can see you're like wearing like long sleeves already. Like what do you call that?
She's ready
my,
to
my,
go.
my hoodie,
Yes.
yeah, I have
your
my hoodies all
hoodie is like-
unpacked.
Oh wow!
Over Chuseok, that's what I did. I did a whole wardrobe change, and I'm ready for fall. Let's let it
I'm
come.
the opposite. As you can see, I'm wearing like a bright blue flowery Hawaiian dress.
You still want to hold on
I'm
to
not
summer.
ready to let go. Not yet.
But when you think of fall here in Korea, it's kind of like a time to sit down with a coffee, in your hand, like looking at the skies or reading a book. Because it's like they say fall here in Korea is the best time to read the book.
Yeah, because of all the changing of the leaves, right?
Yeah,
so
and
it's
the
just like,
sky is really so high, and so not today, but yeah, most of the time.
Most of the
when
time,
it's
Usually a
fall.
nice atmosphere, right?
Yeah, so like fall is basically the perfect time for coffee. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Is that so? I didn't know there was a certain time for coffee.
Oh, but do you drink? How many
No,
times?
I do
Oh, you
not.
don't.
I do not.
You don't drink coffee.
I'm allergic to coffee beans.
Oh wow, that's the first time I'm hearing about it. Have you heard of people, Jem,
this
allergic to
was-
coffee beans?
This was the first time I heard from TT, so I was like, "Wow, I'm very curious about that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my reaction is very different from other people. I don't get hives or anything. My throat and my nose just dries up.
Oh,
So, and if I smell it roasting, I also I have a reaction immediately.
oh my God.
So my friends love me because I can tell you if the cafe is good.
Oh,
Because
on
if
the
I come in, if I come in and I have a reaction, they're like, yeah,
oh, those are original coffee
these
beans.
are good beans.
Oh my God. So how can you go to coffee shops?
Well, I'm used to it now.
Okay.
Because ironically, in the States, I never had a reaction. I got a reaction for the first time in Korea. So that just says that maybe there's a particular bean I'm allergic to, but
Okay.
I know nothing about coffee, so I cannot even investigate.
Honestly, they call it, the coffee berries. It's, they start with berries and then you get the coffee from them. And I know people with allergies on strawberries, like cherries, like berries, those sort, but not with the bean. This is the first time. Yeah. How about you, Jem? How much coffee do you take a day?
Oh, I'm the opposite side of the spectrum. Minimum 2 to 3 cups a day. On a minimum. So on a really exhausting day, I might have 4 to 5 cups with the
Okay.
real beans, not mixed coffee either. Real, we did espresso.
Yeah. And oh my God, like I honestly think before I came to Korea, I used to just have those mixed coffees.
Right.
Yeah, like in the Philippines, we want everything sweet. Like, isn't that supposed to be like sweet is really good tasting, but bitter is bitter.
Right. Actually, as a coffee lover, I'll explain a little bit about coffee. Actually, according to coffeeandhealth.org, coffee can be broken down into several tastes: acidity, bitterness, sweetness, saltiness, and sourness.
Oh.
In general, people prefer the sweetness because it's a little bit smooth, but lots of people love acidity and bitterness. So
Yeah.
how about you?
Me, I try to stay away from the acidity part. I try to find coffee with chocolate aromas. There are that sort of stuff, but not really much on the sourness. But how do you know about that? You know about coffee?
Yes, actually, I'm a barista.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I used to run my own cafe in Korea.
Oh, wow.
So same. I would sometimes try to, try different types of beans. Which one is the most receptive, by customers? What do they like? In general, I also found that the smooth coffee, not bitter, just mild coffee, is the most popular.
Yeah.
When you have an Americano, hot or iced.
Oh yeah, I don't really understand iced, but I know a lot of people will fight me about it, but I never take my coffee cold.
Oh, never? Absolutely
Never.
never.
Absolutely never. I mean, as far as I can avoid it, I do. If I don't really have a choice, like, you visit someone else's house and then it's summer and then they don't ask you, but they just, give you a cup of like, Americano, iced Americano. I mean, you can't say anything
I don't
about
even know
that.
if I should enter this conversation, but when I was in college, I used to drink the Frappuccinos.
Oh,
Yeah, the Frappy.
yeah.
I don't know. It was the thing to carry when I was in college at that time. It was the hip thing to always have your bottle of Frappy.
Oh, Miss Barista, that has coffee in it, right?
Right.
Like how much percent of...
The coffee content is pretty low. It's usually powder based, so milk and
wow.
powder and sugar for days.
So no coffee beans in there.
Not barely.
Yeah.
I guess that's why.
Now, I know that you don't drink coffee, Titi, but you said you have mentioned it that you love going to coffee shops here in Korea because, there's a lot of pretty things to do and, the atmosphere is just so good. But what do you think coffee means to Koreans?
Like they say Korea is the world's sixth largest coffee importer as of 2018.
Wow.
And almost every Korean adult consumes an average of 353 cups of coffee a year.
That's 365 days a year, 353 days.
Almost every single day.
Maybe those 3 days of Chuseok when they're home and drinking only shike. And the rest is just coffee.
Wow, that makes sense.
Makes so much sense.
Or if you're feeling like tea one day.
Yeah, I mean, I think our listener is right. 4682 said, oh my God, OMG, 커피 마시려고 사는 것 같아요. No, I think I
Coffee's life.
live to have a cup of coffee because that's 353 cups of coffee a year per person.
That's
Now-
one a day.
No, most of, especially in other countries. I mean, I live in Yeonhidong and there's like about 30 coffee shops, big and small, within the 100-meter radius of where I live. So that's a lot. And but you don't really open up early, right?
Right, exactly. I was surprised when I first came here. I drink coffee in the morning.
Okay.
But most coffee shops don't open until 11 a.m. So I thought, in Korea, it seems like the coffee culture is after lunch, you go out with your coworkers and then get a cup of coffee rather than first thing in the morning.
Okay. So that's something, it's like dessert.
Yeah,
that's
like a
something you
dessert.
shake,
Absolutely.
That would make the survey I saw make so much more sense.
Okay.
Because they said, like, compared to Italians, who are the coffee people.
Yeah,
Korean-
supposedly.
Yeah, they have the coffee culture more as part of who they are.
Oh,
while
wow.
Koreans use it to meet people. So I think it will make more sense to see that it starts like lunch after lunchtime.
Right. For
You know?
socializing.
For
rather than-
socializing.
As we have been seeing these days, I mean, like coffee shops, it's not, as you have said, Titi, it's not about the coffee, it's about the coffee shop as well, right?
Right.
Right.
Now, I know you did your research, Titi, even though you don't drink coffee. So, how
us
was
more.
coffee consumption over the years here in Korea?
I was surprised to find out that in Korea, the consumption didn't start until like in Sujeon and Gojeon's era, which is like the ending of the Joseon dynasty. And I was like, that is surprising to me.
Have you watched the drama Mr. Sunshine?
Yes, I have.
So did you see the coffee appearing in that particular drama?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't
but
see
was
it.
that Gojeon's era?
Yeah.
Like I just find it because I just felt like it was something that was always there, considering that Korea is agriculture based. And then I remembered we're more green tea focused than coffee.
Okay.
And they said from 1980, that's when it started moving to canned coffee and instant coffee. And when I think of between 1980 and now, how it's developed to the 20th century, where you see cafes in almost every neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
everywhere.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
in Yeonhidong.
I was like, I started like with coffees with names that doesn't really exist in other countries. Like way back here in Korea, they have Vienna coffee when there's no Vienna coffee in Vienna. So it's kind of like it's something that grew now. It's now iced Americano cafe lattes. It's really good. But the thing is, the thing that I notice as well is that coffee is getting more and more expensive.
Oh, right.
Don't you think so?
Well, it might have to do with what they offer.
Okay.
Like Korea offers a lot of mood, atmosphere, and they like to use the best quality beans. Everyone wants to show like we're
Coat
the
and
best.
coat.
Exactly.
Coat and coat.
The best quality.
beans. Okay.
Right.
And compared to other countries, like again, I said in Italy, they just have like espresso, cappuccino, cafe latte. Those are their menu revolves
Keep it
around those.
simple.
Those
Yeah.
three things. But in Korea, you see like goguma, sweet potato latte,
Yeah.
bananas. I'm like, okay.
That's a lot.
They keep experimenting with a lot of things,
I know.
And then the culture again, in like Ethiopia, another country that is known for coffee, they focus more on the traditional ceremony,
Yeah.
But in Korea is more like its presentation.
Yeah.
Do you guys
know.
remember when the latte was a thing? The
Yeah.
latte
art.
art?
The latte
Absolutely.
art.
Yeah,
Right.
it was so crazy in Korea. Like I know 5-6 years ago, everyone wanted to take a picture of whatever was
They
drawn in.
drinking, yeah.
Right.
Now, as for Jem, you own your own coffee shop way back,
Right.
and I know you are, a bit more knowledgeable when it comes to prices. What do you think of the coffee price here in Korea?
Right. Well, it definitely is more expensive than the USA. And actually, there was a survey recently. They asked people what they think, what they expect to pay for a price of coffee, cup of coffee, and about 3,055 won was the number.
Okay.
However, for me, that's still on the pricier side. But actually, I have a funny story about pricing.
Okay.
In my cafe, actually, I had a menu item that was so delicious, but it wasn't selling.
Okay.
So someone suggested to me, why don't you raise the price?
Ooh.
Right? And I thought, well, that's crazy. Why would people pay more? But I raised the price, I believe, 500 won, 1,000 won, and it started to sell.
Oh, wow.
And I said, why is that? And then my Korean friend said, sometimes the mentality is if it's more expensive, it's better quality. It's
Okay.
better. So after the price, raising the price, yeah, it started to sell. So it was really interesting.
Interesting.
Maybe more expensive, people correlate that with better quality, right?
Wow. So here in Korea, we often hear the word 얼죽아, like 얼어 죽어도 아메리카노. You know that, as I have said, I'm not really into cold coffee or iced coffee. But even like fried chicken restaurants, like ordinary restaurants here are adding coffee to their menu, right?
Right.
I know, like if
absolutely,
you go
yeah.
to like some restaurants, even the mixed coffee,
Yeah.
they will offer that to you at the end of the meal, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is very fancy.
So do you think that really this industry is getting bigger and bigger? It's not just limited to coffee shops anymore. Like you can go to a burger joint and you can find coffee there as well.
Which is true.
I'm very grateful for that as a coffee lover.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how about the brands here in Korea? How about the brands of coffee, the franchise coffee brands here in Korea? There are a lot of local brands, right, Jen?
Right. There are lots of local brands. They have their different strategies to attract customers. A lot of coffee shops, major franchises appear in Korean dramas and Korean movies. That way they get exposure and become bigger and bigger in the Korean market. But there are also lots of beautiful, gorgeous local shops too.
Yeah, and I know there was a report like a few days ago that there is no difference between the taste of coffee that is being sold on this franchise coffee shops and those being sold with those small mom and pop sort of coffee shops, right?
Right. Actually, they did a test with not people, but an electric tongue and electric nose. This is according to the Korean Times. They researched and found that the actual quality as far as taste and aroma, were very similar
Yeah.
between the small franchise or small brands and major franchises.
Yeah, so our listener even told us 3109, I cannot survive a day without coffee. I would think so. Please make sure to buy fair trade coffee because a lot of people are trying to help,
The small
countries, yes, the smaller entrepreneurs to sell their products. And I know this is something that we should be doing as well to help other countries because it's really, as you have said, it's not really that different. I mean, the taste isn't really that different. Now, how do you choose your coffee shops before I finally let you two go? Just give me a hint on how you choose your coffee shops.
How
Well,
about Titi?
for me, I go mostly.
Even though you don't drink coffee. Okay.
That's the thing. I don't drink coffee, which is why what I look for is how it looks.
Oh.
Yeah, I love Hanuks, so I go to a lot of Hanuk cafes, and if all they have to offer is coffee, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Okay.
But I have a friend who's like a real coffee nut job, and she loves finding like those places in the crooks and corners
Yeah.
of Yeonnam-dong and all the gils like Sarasu-gil, Gyeongri-dang-gil.
Yeah.
We have traveled all the way to Gyeongju
Yeah.
for Hwangdang-gil. I was like, oh my God, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I look for.
Okay, that's what you look for. But there's something that I would like to tell you that our listener has told us, for you, because you don't drink coffee. 결혼 전에 3762 sent us. 결혼 전에 커피가 없으면 깜깜한 밤에 커피 자판기까지 걸어갔던 적이 있었죠. 남편을 만나고 제가 불면증 시달리는 걸 신랑이 알고 보리차를 추천해줬어요. 아주 진한 보리차. You know what 보리차 is?
Yeah.
It's the barley
Barley tea.
보리차를 뜨겁게 마시면 진한 커피 향이 나요.
Oh.
그래서 그리고 아주 시원한 보리차는 맥주 맛이 난답니다. So it tastes like beer and it tastes like coffee. 그래서 지금은 커피도 맥주도 안 마셔요. 그리고 꿀잠을 얻었답니다. See, that's something for you,
I
Titi.
will take that into consideration. Boricha. Thank you.
That's the one.
373762님 쿠폰을 보내드릴 테니까요. 티를 주문해서 드시면 어떨까요? Well, anyway, thank you very much for you both for all of those information. I'm going to see you again next week, hopefully with a cup of coffee in hand.
I hope so too. Or
Okay.
tea.
Well, for everyone, remember Men on Air is coming up next after this song, 10cm with 사랑은 은하수 다방에서. This has been Jasmine. Join me once again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Love y'all.